What's good YouTube, it's Adam from I'm a Music Mogul. Welcome to a brand new video. Today we're going to go ahead and remake from scratch Don Toliver's Secondhand featuring Rema.
How am I supposed to let you go? You're all I ever wanted in my life. All I ever wanted in my life. You're all I ever wanted in my life. All I ever wanted in my life.
The tempo for this one is 144 beats per minute, and the track is produced by Roark Bailey, Gabe Lucas, Saskia, and 206 Derek. We're gonna go and start off with the main melody that you hear in this track. Now that sound actually came from a type beat video on YouTube by Valor. This is the song right over here. It's a Tory Lanez type beat 2024 Save With Me.
How am I supposed to let you go? How am I supposed to let you walk away?
So immediately you hear that main sound melody that you hear throughout the entire track. Let's go ahead and get that into Logic and then go from there. Now, of course, the main producers, they had the license to this track and they probably got all the stems, but we're gonna go ahead and just work with some sampling in Logic Pro. So what I'm gonna do here is change the tempo mode over to automatic mode. This way when we bring in that song, it's gonna automatically detect the tempo and make it really easy for us to chop it up. So here is the type beat track right over here. Logic will analyze the tempo and it will give us a tempo of 72 beats per minute. But this is recorded in double time, so we're gonna change it from 72 to 144, and I'll just make sure that the beat is lined up. Most of the time Logic gets it right, but in this case it is not lined up correctly, so I'll just move that in place.
Am I supposed to let you go?
So next thing we're gonna do here is just basically cut up 16 bars of that intro bit. So we'll start off at bar 3, and then we'll carry it on until bar...
How am I supposed to let you walk away? We're
gonna need those drums from there as well. The next thing that we're gonna do here is just stem split that so we can take the drums and that main melody that we hear in there, as well as the vocals. So we're gonna go control click and we're gonna go to processing, stem splitter. And I'll just take everything. We don't need everything here, but we'll just hit apply. We're gonna need these drums here. We're only gonna take 2 bars of it. All right, so I'm just gonna chop that up for now so we have it. We are going to need, of course, this main melody. We got our drums, our melody, and then we're gonna need this vocal as well.
Go. How am I supposed to let you walk away? How am I supposed to let you go? You're all I ever wanted in my life.
So we'll just take those vocals and we're gonna chop it up and place them as we need to. So we're gonna have a 16 bar loop over here, and the vocals is gonna start on bar 2. But what we're gonna do here is just chop up these vocals just so that we can label them accordingly and you know exactly where to place them. So just leave something like that. So this is gonna be, I'll just label it quickly. Chop 1, chop 2, chop 3, chop 4. And by the way, to rename regions like this is just Shift N. And we'll call that region 5 or chop 5. So this is gonna play for 1 bar. And then it's gonna go into chop 3. So let's bring that down here.
How am I supposed to let you go?
But the go over here, we're gonna take it from the first go and not that actual phrasing right there, just because it is a little different. So I'm gonna take this out, this go part. I'm gonna copy down chop number 1, and that's gonna be the go that we need.
How am I supposed to let you go?
But that's a little loud, so I'm just gonna bring this down in volume a bit.
How am I supposed to let you go?
And then we're gonna get this one right over here.
How am I supposed to let you go? How am I supposed to let you walk away?
And then we're gonna get this one back again. How am I supposed to let you go?
How am I supposed to let you go? How am I supposed to let you walk away? How am I supposed to let you go?
And then we're gonna get this part.
How am I supposed to let you go? How am I supposed to let you walk away? How am I supposed to let you go? You're all I ever wanted in my life. All I ever wanted in my life. You're all I
just
ever
copy down
wanted
this.
in my life. All I ever wanted in my life.
And that is the vocals right there. The only thing we'll add is a little bit of reverb. So I'm just going to solo that out. Control Command P to bring up our plugin list, and we'll go to some reverb here, chroma verb.
How am I supposed to let you go? How am I supposed to let you walk away?
Just a little bit.
How am I supposed to let you go? You're all I ever wanted in my life. All I ever wanted in my life. You're all I ever wanted in my life.
So over on this second set of 4 bars, this right over here, we're gonna go ahead and bring in the drums. So our drum sample we already chopped over here. So let's go ahead and just duplicate that track. We'll copy that down and we'll bring in the drums. All right, so we get this. Try to increase the volume on this. Next, let's get to the bass. Create a new software instrument track. I got one right over here, so I'll just bring that down here. And then what we are going to do is, just got to set up my session here for a minute. We don't need anything else from there. We'll just mute that. All right, so let's go ahead and bring in Control Command P. We'll bring in Logic's ES1 synthesizer. We'll start off with a preset here. We'll go to Synth Bass. We'll go to Sub Bass. We'll go ahead and draw in that pattern and then get to some sound design. There's not much to it. It's pretty much a stock sound, but we'll just get to that pattern first. All right, then we're gonna go down to the C sharp. Follows the same rhythm. Then go up here. Now it's not going to be for this section here, but I'm just going to bring it in there and mute it out because it does come in the next section. All right, now let's get to that sound design. Like I said, it's not much to it. The only thing we're gonna do here is pull down the cutoff a little bit. That's pretty much it. Nothing too crazy. Now we got to get to that synth lead that happens in the intro. For this sound, I'm going to go ahead and bring in Logic's Alchemy. And the preset that we're going to use here is a preset called Blue Laser Lead. And we're going to go ahead and change the performance over down to the market lead over here. Let's go ahead and draw on that pattern and then get to the sound design. All right, and that just repeats every 2 bars. So what I'm going to do here is just chop that up, and I'll just duplicate this over the 8 bars, Command R all the way, and then Command J to join that. All right, now for the sound design, we need to get it to glide between the notes. And the first thing that we'll do is just go over to our glide section over here under Advanced, and we're just going to pull this up to about 10 o'clock. Just add in some glide there. And then I'm going to go ahead and just pull up the attack so it's not such a hard hit on the initial attack. Soften it up. Open up our filter envelope a little bit. I'm going to take out the delay and I'll take out the reverb. All right, that's the sound right there. The only thing I am going to do is just add in a little bit of EQ here. Take a little of the lows out. Boost here a bit. Lower that up. And then we're going to go over to to the next section. So what we're gonna do here is just push over this another 16 bars, because what we're gonna do is just copy over our main melody. And then we'll copy over the drums. Now I'm not sure if the drums were in this section or not, but I'll just leave it there for now. And then we're gonna go ahead and put in the bass pattern. Now it's going to be slightly different than this one over here, but the notes are the same. So what I'm gonna do here is just take out what I don't need. Going to process this bass a little bit differently than the previous one. So I'm just going to copy this down over here. I'm going to make the velocity a little harder. And the pattern is going to be the same. So the same notes here. So we're going to go from the E to the C sharp. And then we're going to add in a little bit of distortion to the bass just to bring it out a little bit more. We'll go Control Command P, bring in Logic's Chroma Glow. And we're just going to use the default setting that loads up here. Pull up the drive a bit though. Makes it a little bit fuller, ever so slightly. And then we're going to get to that Pluck Synth. It's a really easy one to recreate, so we'll just create it from scratch. We'll create a new software instrument track. For this sound, we're going to bring in Logic's ES2 synthesizer. For this one, what we're going to do is just focus on oscillator 1. We don't need 2 and 3 oscillator, or oscillator 2, oscillator 3. And for oscillator 1, we're just going to set it to a sine wave. Let's go and draw in that pattern and then get to some further sound design. Let's just copy that over. All right, we'll copy that over because it does happen every 4 bars. We'll join up that region and then we'll get to some sound design, but this is what it sounds like now. And now let's get to that sound design. For this sound, also, not much to it. The only thing we're gonna do is just pull up a little bit of chorus here, make it a little bit wider. Pull up an EQ, just take out some of the lows. Then we'll just bring down the sustain so that we control the length of the sound with our decay over here. So pull that down. You get more of a plucky sound. Just pull that up to make it a little longer. So before we had this, kind of dragged out a bit, makes it a little bit quicker. I'll bring down the release as well. And maybe we'll add in a little bit of reverb, a touch there. And then we'll get to the next section here. So what we're gonna do here is copy over the drums. We'll copy over the bass. And then we'll go ahead and bring in that piano. We'll go over to our library browser here. We'll go over to acoustic piano and we'll bring in the vintage upright piano. Let's go ahead and draw on that pattern and then get to some sound design. Stretch that out over 2 bars. I'm going to soften that out. Let's copy that over. We'll bring that down. Except we want to make sure all these notes are in key. We'll copy that over one more time. All right, so that's the piano right there, but we got to make it more of like a felt, darker type of piano with some resonance. So to do that, I'm just going to open up our EQ here. I'm going to take this cut off over here, and we're going to go ahead and just bring it down to make it darker. So we get like this darker sounding piano. We pull up our Q, and then we're going to add in a little bit of resonance here. Kind of give it that underwater effect type of feel. And then we got to go ahead and add in a top note to this piano. So what I'm going to do is duplicate this track. I'm going to go ahead and use the same piano, except I'm going to pull back this high cut over here. And then we're going to go ahead and draw on that top melody. So in context, the piano sounds like this. All right, now for the last bar of the piano, we got to go and reverse it. So what we're going to do here is just chop this up over here, right, on the two regions. And we got to make sure that our chord is in there. So let's go and chop this up. We'll go split. All right, we get our chop over there. Then what we're going to do is Control B this to bounce it in place. And then we're going to go ahead and reverse this sample. So we're going to bring down to our inspector window over here and click reverse. It's going to sound like this. And that's our piano right there. Then we're gonna go ahead and copy over the vocals. But we gotta do one thing to the vocals there. So let's just copy this over. All right, all we gotta do is select all of our vocals and go up one octave. So we'll select all of our vocals here and we'll go Shift Option Arrow up to push it up one octave. Now it did stretch out those vocals, so I'm just gonna go ahead and stretch that back out to the appropriate length. Sometimes Logic does funny things here. So I'm just gonna make sure I'm lining these up accordingly. Stretch that out, and we'll stretch this out. All right, now we're back in business. And then over here, we got to go ahead and add in that classic bed squeak sound. So for that, I'm going to go over to my Octane deconstructed kit. If you're interested in the drum sounds from Don Toliver's Octane, link will be down below. So I'm going to go over to the Secondhand track, and we're going to bring in that bed squeak sample. So we'll drag that into a drum machine designer, or we can just drag it into a quick sampler. These are all the individual sounds if you're interested in the drum sounds, but we got the loop here from the sample. And what we're going to do here is just place in that bed squeak. So that right there is the foundation to Don Toliver's Secondhand. Now there are other sections that we got to get to, but I'm going to get to that off camera, and then when we come back, we'll talk about each one of those sections. So let's get to that. All right, so here is the final session of the Don Toliver Secondhand remake. So where we left off right over here. All right, so like I said, it just kind of progresses because it is the foundation to the beat. From that, we go into this. And then back into that section. And then we get into like this little breakdown section here. And this is where like some cool stuff happens. So we have the same drum sample, the same bass pattern, the same Pluck Synth comes back into play. And then we get this big chord section here. So let's break each one of those sounds one by one. So to start off, we have this sound over here. Let's just start it off here. This is just happening at the top of the pattern just to kind of bring it out. Now for that sound, this is the MIDI pattern right over here. It's just that top note that just gets dragged out. All right, so for that sound, I am using a preset in Logic, the Dreamy Smooth Vox, found under the organ category. Then we get a piano playing this chord progression. All right, and that chord progression is played for each one of these sounds. But for that piano, we are using a stock Logic piano. It can be found under the acoustic piano section called Ballad. And then we got this sound over here, like an electric keys type of sound, organ type of sound. The preset is servo assisted under the softer performance. All right, then we got this one over here, that main organ sound. For that, I started off with a preset in Logic found under the organ category, the grand organ. I did adjust the sliders over here a little bit to get the tone that we needed for the original track, but these are my settings over here. So all together, it's becoming like this nice big section. And then just to top it off, we have like this pad sound. We're using the Analog Silk preset in Alchemy. The only thing I added here was some channel EQ just to make sure I get the tone that I need. I added this preset for some richness. It's another Alchemy preset. The preset is called Northern Winds, and it just adds a nice layer or texture to all of the other sounds. And then just to top it all up, I just added like this nice synth keys on top of it, just because it sounded like this was in the original track as well. Same chord progression. And that sound is another stock Logic sound. It can be found under the keyboard category. It's the 80s bitrate synth. So now let's go ahead and just bring in each one of those sounds so you hear what each one does as we add them in. So we got the Dreamy Vox, Smooth Vox sample here, the piano, an electric keys, our organ, that pad texture, some more texture, and that synthy keys. And then sitting on top of that, we get this nice lead sound. And it starts off a bar prior because we get this slide thing happening. And that slide gives us a nice transition. So this is what the MIDI looks like. Our slide notes into there. For that, I'm just using a ES2 preset here. I'm using the stock setting that loads up. The only thing I did on the second oscillator is bring it down 1 octave. These are my settings over here. And I just added some reverb on top of that sound just to put it into a space. Right, and layer it together. It's a nice transition. All right, then moving on to the track, we get this nice little transition bit as well. This is the pattern right there. It's just like a nice little crescendo moment. And for that sound, I'm using Logic's ES2, and you probably guessed it, it is just a sine wave. I'm using the default settings that load up. It's pretty much the same setting that we used on the other Pluck sound. And I just added in an echo just to kind of let it ring out and put it into some space with some reverb. And that kind of gives us a transition into the next section. All right, back into what we did previously. And then we get a new set of strings here. So there's two sets of strings. One is Logic's Alchemy, the Mellotron Violins preset under the Swells Performance. So I'm just going to solo that out. I added some glide, or quite a bit of glide here on the sound. And layered on top of that just to give it more of that string sound that we need. I'm using Logic's string violas. You can find that under Studio Strings, Studio Violas. And layered together, it sounds like this. And then we get into like this nice little house dance section. So this key section over here looks like this. So this is a sound I designed from scratch. It's in Logic's ES2 synthesizer. It is a balance between a sine wave and a noise, because there's a lot of noise in that sound that they put in there. These are the settings over here if you want to copy it. The only thing I added for effects is a bit crusher. We'll go through one by one. A bit crusher just to give it a little bit of grit. It brings out that noise a little bit, as heard in the original track. Added in some reverb for some space. EQ to clean it up. And some distortion as needed. For that distortion, I'm using Logic's Chroma Glow, using the clean saw preset found under bass EDM. And all together, it sounds like this. Let's just bring this out. Sounds kind of dry. And then we get an 808 as well, and it looks like this. Following the same pattern we put in before. Now that 808 is also included in the Octane Deconstructed kit. You can find it right over here. From there is just a bunch of arrangement just to take us out to the end of the track. So with that said, let's go and take a listen to how everything sounds together.
How am I supposed to let you go? How am I supposed to let you walk away? How am I supposed to let you go? You're all I ever wanted in my life. All I ever wanted in my life. You're all I ever wanted in my life. All I ever wanted in my life.
Toliver's Secondhand featuring Rema, remade in Logic Pro. For Logic Pro users out there, I'm going to go ahead and save this entire session for you, place it as a downloadable link below this video. If you don't use Logic, I got your back as well. I'm going to export on MIDI stems, audio stems, and of course include the drum kit that you heard in this remake. You can find that entire playback down below the like button as well. If you do have any questions on this or just want to chat or have any suggestions for future videos, let's chat down below. Thanks for watching. We'll catch you on the next one. Later. Peace.
How am I supposed to let you go?